What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Cato,
I'm Spence Breland.
and welcome to Gaming Treehouse Radio, episode 70.
Ooh.
It's been a long time.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
busy people.
Very busy people. I mean, hell, we had episode 68 2 years ago, episode 69 3 months ago, so it's fitting, episode 70.
Hey, we had a few active reloads and PlayStation drop
drops.
episodes. We're going to figure out what we're doing. We just recorded a reaction for the Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury trailer.
So go
thing.
check it out.
You can watch that. But this week, we just wanted to jump back in here. So I figured it's the start of 2021. So we figured we may as well just go back and talk about a few nice things.
Yeah, let's just revisit 2020 and just live it
Yes.
all over again. I mean, we all want that. You got COVID. You got more Donald Trump going crazy. More
Mountain
COVID.
Dew.
Hey, there's Mountain Dew. That's a blessing.
Funny story. So at work today, there's this table in the break room.
Yeah.
That's like the free grab table. Like
Yeah.
if it's just there, you grab it. So I glance over and I thought I was seeing things. For some reason, a PlayStation 3 game, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, was on there. I was like,
What?
yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, sure. It's like, I love Persona. And I also bought these just for a little nostalgia kickback, if everyone remembers this.
Jesus.
The
Oh my
limited
God, I had one of
edition
those.
Halo 2 and...
Did you get the DLC map pack?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, but this is even better. Oh,
Oh.
the
Look at you all fancy.
Halo 3 one too, because I'm all up Halo's booty.
Oh, God.
So anyway, without further ado, follow me on Twitter, Stigmaster Nick, Spencer,
Yeah. Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper.
Heck,
It's underneath our pictures.
Yeah.
But again,
in case you need to be reminded, just look down.
obviously, this year we know all the big games: Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, all these things. Hades, everyone loves Hades. I love Hades too. It was in my top 10 games.
Spider-Man, Demon
Spider-Man,
Souls.
Miles Morales, Demon Souls,
Cyberpunk. Oh.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Woo! Ooh, I'm totally not disappointed by that game at all. Woo! But I just wanted to talk about just 3 games. Not necessarily one of them is my favorite game. Probably my favorite game of all time. Maybe behind Halo 2. But just talk about just 3 games that just were really special that deserve an extra shout out and a little bit of a little love letter from me and Spencer.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna work this from 3 to 1 or what?
There's not really any order. We could
Alright.
just
Let's just say it.
go on. So, you want me to go first? Or
Yeah,
do you
of
want to
course. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll go first. So I'll save the best for last, obviously. So my first of the 3 I just wanted to give a little shout out to was Streets of Rage 4.
Ooh. Heard that's
So-
a good one.
It is. So I'm a big beat 'em up fan. I'm a big old school gaming fan.
Oh no. Of course. Oh, there you go. You're back.
I froze?
You froze for a good 5 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm even on the good laptop. Oh my
All right.
god.
Say what you just said again.
All right, so I picked Streets of Rage 4. Obviously, as you know, I'm a big retro gamer, big fan of beat 'em ups in general. And I always loved the Streets of Rage franchise. Didn't like 3 that much, but Streets of Rage 1 and 2 are amazing on the Sega Genesis. And I was just always I never understood why Sega never revisited this franchise. So when Streets of Rage 4 got announced, I was skeptical, obviously, but this is the time of just retro comebacks because it's cool now.
Of course.
This game is probably the best Streets of Rage game. The art direction and art style that I originally was a little flaky about is absolutely amazing. Everything looks just so colorful, jumping off the screen, so much character. The soundtrack is just as good as the old Sega Genesis ones. The levels are amazing. The combo mechanics are top notch, where if you really get into the nitty gritty with each character, they're good at some things, bad at not as great at some things, and you just get into this flow of playing, especially if you can play co-op with someone. I played a lot of online co-op for this one, unfortunately, on Switch. because of COVID. When it came out, we couldn't really get together.
Oh, yeah.
But it just reminded me just this old school fun. It's amazing. It's on Game Pass right now.
Hey, another reason to pick
So
up
if
Game
you have
Pass.
Xbox, hey, I've been playing the living hell out of Game Pass. So that's a topic for the next gen consoles because I've been playing the hell out of my Series X. But remember when I was like, will I or won't I buy it?
Yeah, and then you bought it, and that's all you've been
I
playing.
couldn't be happier that I bought it. So it's an amazing system. But Streets of Rage 4, absolutely incredible game. I cannot recommend it enough. So if you're a fan of beat 'em ups or something, or just want to try something new, play that, and also on Game Pass, play River City Girls.
Dude, Jesus. Now I will go ahead and say that at least my top 3 picks probably going to differ a little from Nick's. So coming in right at number 3, I mean, there's no specific order, but Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil.
I'm surprised you like this one.
Yeah, actually.
Most people don't.
So earlier this year, probably not earlier this year, technically last year. Back in February, I started playing Resident Evil 2, and I fell in love with that. Like, absolutely fell in love with it. And I think Resident Evil 3 came out in like March or April or sometime like right after that. So it was just like, as soon as I finished Resident Evil 2, I just rolled straight into Resident Evil 3. It's not as good as 2, but I mean, it's a lot more shorter experience. It's more condensed. I've never played Resident Evil 3 back in the day on is PS1, PS2, something like that.
Yeah.
So I can't really relate to like nostalgia on that part, but I mean, it's a lot more actiony than Resident Evil 2, so it's not as slow and just going through like a mansion. You're actually going through this entire town and just getting chased by this giant nemesis monster that's just constantly just a pain in your ass, and you're just like, hey, I just want to get the hell out of here. So if you're a fan of horror action adventure type games, it's definitely right up your alley, especially if you like not Resident Evil. Of course, if you like Resident Evil, you would like 3, but The Evil Within or like Dead Space, those type of games, it'd be up your alley. Of course, not up Nick's alley because he does not like scary games, so.
Yeah, I mean, I played Resident Evil ones. I played 4. I played 5.
4 is more.
I dabbled in 7. I don't know. I know everyone has their tastes.
Yeah, 7's scary as hell.
Resident Evil is not my cup of tea per se.
I just remember whenever you came over to my house and played the VR version, it was like the damn chair just started doing something.
I kicked the chair in the VR on PSVR 1, and for some reason that just broke my immersion, and I was sick for about 2 hours. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was horrifying, quite horrifying to be honest. So,
but yeah,
this list isn't necessarily my 3 favorite games here. My number 1 game is my favorite game of the year by a wide margin, which I'll get into. But these are just games I feel like they're all in my top 10 games of the year. But, everyone talks about Ghost of Tsushima. Everyone talks about Animal Crossing. That's not in my top 10. But everyone talks about all these other games like Hades, which is also in my top 10. But I wanted to show love to these other games.
Of course.
And my number 1 game is not getting a lot of love, even though it's the highest rated game of the year. Just throwing it out there. But
all right, please.
Number 2 for me, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh,
I don't know, Xbox exclusive. There you go. Boom. There you go, Spencer.
Is it on Nintendo Switch now, too? Or?
It is. Actually, well, when it came out, it was. But now it's on Switch, and I'm pretty sure you can play it on PC, I'm sure. I lose track of what the hell is going on with all these things.
If it's on Xbox, it's on PC. Just go ahead.
If you have a Switch, if you have an Xbox, if you have a Series X, and you can play this thing at like 6K 60 and like 4K 120, like
it's insane.
It's so beautiful. The story is kind of Journey-esque, I should say, where it's just really heartwarming and not a lot of dialogue, but it's just an incredible game. The Metroidvania map is like unparalleled to me with beauty. Maybe only Hollow Knight compares, which I need Silk Song right away as soon as possible. But the depth of field, like it really feels like you're engrossed in a world. the traversal once you get all your abilities are so smooth, and when you're mixing and matching all the abilities, like your little like arrow whip thing, and
Yeah.
then you drill through the dirt. Like once you start mixing them all up, especially in high pressure situations, like when a boss is chasing you or something, uh, just feel you just get in this flow state. Um, it's just the combat is surprisingly completely upgraded in my opinion from Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a big step up in that, and the boss battles are exhilarating to say the least.
Now,
Just such an overall just top-notch game that I feel like didn't get enough love this year. Probably because when it came out, it released pretty early. Usually earlier games don't get a lot of love. It's like get forgotten unless if you're Animal Crossing.
Of
But
course.
it's so good. I can't recommend a Metroidvania more. Like it's just simply amazing in every way.
Yeah, it's definitely a gorgeous game, and like whenever it did come to, or whenever Series X did come out, and they're like, oh, it's like 120 frames. I was like, it's
I
just
don't even know.
mind-boggling. Just
I am a frame person now, I will say.
yeah, I like the smoothness of everything, so
Hmm.
it's amazing. But as far as that, my number two, it's definitely not on Nick's list, would be Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I love the Yakuza
So
franchise, so I'm gonna play this eventually. Don't worry.
it is definitely like my favorite Yakuza game. So I played Yakuza
Really?
Zero. Yeah, I played Yakuza Zero for. I played it like 3 times now, like starting from the beginning, and I get like 3 or 4 hours in, and I just get to a point where I'm like, okay, I can't take the whole actual like live action, I guess I would say, compared to
Yeah.
Yakuza. Because I just start like if I stop and start playing it, and then start playing it, like I just forget like the combos and stuff like that. So as
Yeah.
far as Yakuza Like a Dragon, it's more turn based, so it's a lot easier to just jump back into. So you're more just involved in like the story. I will say it has one of my favorite characters, Ichiban. I forget the whole name, but Ichiban. He's like just like this downhearted, like good-hearted, just like down to earth, like type of people that you can just relate to. He's down on his luck, but he's just like true to who he is, and just he goes through the entire game just like that. You meet all these characters along the way. Uh, you start hanging out with them. You go to the bar, learn about their backstory, do side quests with them, and it's just like a really good, heartwarming story. The side quests are, of course, wacky as ever in Yakuza since. Like, for example, you hear a crying baby and you run up there and it's just a bunch of grown men dressed in diapers.
Yes.
It's that kind of wackiness, but
I love it.
it's an amazing game. I probably put more hours into that game than I did any game last year, just
Oh.
because there's a lot to do. There's tons of side quests, tons of mini games, that type of thing. So if you like Yakuza, or you just need something that's a little bit different than your normal action adventure game, highly suggest you check it out. It's just a great little story. I mean, if you ignore the side quest content, you probably get to it through it a little bit quicker, but overall, it's a great game.
All right. We all know what number one is, people,
Go ahead.
for me. So this is probably the best game I've ever played from anything. The best game. My second favorite game of all time behind Halo 2. But this is the best. I'm obviously talking about Persona 5 Royal.
Jesus.
The game that literally does everything right. I know what everyone's thinking. I know what everyone's thinking.
The
And
fact that you played through this game at least
that
twice.
groan.
now.
See, that groan, Spencer is just thinking, it's just simply just an add-on
'Cause
to Persona 5. It's just like that. No, it's not. It's not.
it has a whole new character. Like
Oh no,
I played a
Oh.
little bit through this.
new
I
characters,
I
new
didn't get as far as you
characters, new locations to hang out, new reworked dungeons, palaces, to be specific.
did. So okay, like which like I didn't. I think I'm still like almost towards the end of the first palace. I don't think anything changed about that one. Is there something?
Yeah, it
different
changed a little bit. Yep.
About? Okay.
But the new characters are so good. So Persona 5, it hits everything. You talk about story. one of the most engrossing stories you'll ever be in with amazing twists. And then the third semester, no spoilers, obviously. It is the best piece of gaming content I think I've ever played.
Dear
It's well
Jesus.
worth playing through the whole thing. It makes you really question like what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's not. It is some of the best. I made a save specifically there, and I played through it like a bunch of times. It is godlike. So characters, you give a crap about every character that's a social link. Every character, you genuinely form a connection. You give a shit about them. You do side missions for them. It's amazing.
See,
The
Persona's.
game.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just going through all the boxes. The gameplay, the JRPG mechanics are bar none. It's these games that make like Pokemon really look bad.
I
Like
will say
their
that.
combat and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is how you do it. The baton passes, the everything is just so well done. And then the social life aspect of it. All the new locations. You can hang out with your boys at the billiards and darts club. You can go to even though you're not old enough in the game, do you can go to a nice little bar, drink non-alcoholic beverages, obviously, new date spots, like everything's so incredible. The new characters are great. The
See,
soundtrack, holy shit, the best video game soundtrack ever. Even the new songs are just
I will
I
say the
can't stop
soundtrack
gushing
is on
more.
point. Like there's no better video game music than Persona.
Oh my god. So I just listen to it all the time. It's like my relaxed music. So it's not the Royal soundtrack, but if you have Apple Music or Spotify, all the Persona soundtracks are on there now.
Finally.
So five, four, three. I'm pretty sure I saw two and one there as well. But my god, I don't know what to say more. This game, I know there was COVID, so it's not like I was doing much. I was sitting at home. I played this game for like 10 hours a day,
Jesus. I
like
wish.
170 hours in there. Like once it gets its teeth in you, it's like you just can't put it down. It's all you think about.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about it, even though I haven't played it in a couple months. Like
See,
I was almost started the new save file.
Persona 5 is like the one game that I actually just need I need like 2 months where nothing comes out and that's like all I can focus on. Because I played through Persona 5, I got like I'd probably say about at least 3/4 of the way, if not 3/4, almost 3/4. And then so whenever Royal came out, I was like, okay, let me get through this intro, and I got like to the end of the first boss and like did that, and then of course I get sidetracked again with other games, and it's just like because I know this is like a huge time sink, but it's so good,
It's so worth it.
so good.
I can't stress enough to everyone how good the third semester is.
Like it's one of them
It
games that I just don't get bored playing it at all. Like I don't like hate myself playing it where I'm to the point where I'm like, is this over? Is this over? Is this over? No, I'm enjoying it like a ton.
it's amazing. It's a game that oh my god, like I said, I can't stress enough. It's the best game I've ever played, and my second favorite game of all time, only to this lovely beast right here, Halo 2. But that's it. Like that's the game. The fact that this like hardly got any Game of the Year nominations just makes me sick to my stomach. Like I don't know what's going on with people. I mean, it's the highest rated game this year for a reason.
It's people just treated it like a re-release almost.
It's
instead
so
of
much
like a
more
new
than
game.
that.
Yeah.
It is so much more than that. And I promise you, even though you could feel like you're going through the same story beats, the new characters that are in the game break it up and add even more context to the story and let you get even closer to your party members and social links. So that's it.
Yeah.
Play Persona 5 Royal, please.
Jesus.
God.
All right. Well, let's see if anybody can guess what my number one is.
I feel like I'm about to have like an aneurysm hearing this or something.
Oh man, it's kind of like I had an aneurysm listening to Persona 5 for the 100th time. So,
No, I'm just curious.
in case you didn't know, it'd be Final Fantasy VII
Oh,
Remake.
thank God. All right. I thought you were going to say
Oh
Cyberpunk.
hell no!
And I was going to
It's a
fucking
great
lose
game
my mind.
because I played on PC, but no, does not hold a
Yes,
candle to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I agree with you. I love
This
that game.
game, it came out what it was PS1 then.
Yes, PlayStation 1. Yep.
So I have another remake on my list, but I never played it back when it came out. I was a Final Fantasy VIII game. I really wish that game would get some love, but it is what it is. Uh, I did not think Square Enix could pull it off. Like this thing had been in development for God knows how long, and
Oh yeah.
it was one of the games where I'm like, this thing's gonna come out and it's just gonna be a piece of shit. Like it was literally
As
like
is tradition.
yeah, it was literally like a few days before this game came out, and I was like, I ain't got nothing else to play. I'll go ahead and pick it up, and I'm glad I did because literally it was my favorite game last
So good.
year.
So good.
Just between the graphics, is amazing. Like the whole atmosphere, the whole fleshed out story with the buddies, and like just more in depth to the characters.
The soundtrack.
Soundtrack's amazing.
Woo.
Like that's what literally on my PS5 right now. I have this game downloaded just because I jump back into old saves just to like listen to the music. Like I'll walk around the towns just to be like, oh man, this is amazing.
Do you know what moment with this game clicked with me where I was like, all right, this is just fucking amazing? Because they added more context to the Psychers. I played a little bit. I haven't beaten the original Final Fantasy VII, but I've gotten pretty far in it.
Yeah.
They really gave, oh my God. Now I'm just blanking on their names for some reason.
So I'm assuming it's one of the guys. They either
Holy shit.
was it the big?
I don't know why I'm blanking on the names. The girl.
Oh, the girl, Tifa.
No.
Not Tifa.
The soldier one. Why am I forgetting her name?
Isn't that that's Tifa?
No, Tifa. God, we look like idiots. No.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know why I'm
It's
blanking
been
on
a
the
while
names.
since I played it. So
All right.
Tif-
This is killing me.
Tifa's the one that was like in your party.
Yeah, Tifa's black hair. Jesse. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
So,
that originally like
her
she
and
had
Biggs.
like nothing like in the original.
Yeah, but her character is so well fleshed out. When you do the mission where you go to her house,
Yeah, and like meet her
and
parents.
her theme
or not meet
is
her parents,
so fucking good. The remix of Jesse's theme
yeah.
is so goddamn good. And when you're running around the town, just like on the street and the sidewalks,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this game's.
So
I'm emotionally attached to the characters. Like, it's amazing.
and the music helps a lot with that, and just like there was times in this games where I just like stopped and looked up. I was like, this whole entire environment is just an amazing like set of scenery that I could just like I could live in the world. Like I'm so excited for the sequel, but I know Final
They will
Fantasy
come out in like 10 years.
Final
they're
Fantasy
doing
16
60.
will come out.
Yeah, I
The
can't wait
Project
for
Athia, or however you say that.
that either.
That'll come.
Althea's 2022, I think they said.
So I mean, it'll probably be like 2023 before I finally get the sequel at least. So
I hope not.
if it can live up to an ounce of what this game is currently, dude, I will be ecstatic. I just hope they can find some way that I can import my save as far as like my upgrades and my items and all that into the next one.
Maybe. I think this game will do best. This game will be the game that gets the biggest upgrade for being on next gen, because you could tell this game was a game that needed the PS5, because we won't need to do the stupid like let's crawl through this little space to hide the load times. The textures will be better, because as beautiful as the game was, some of the textures were just god awful, like the doors and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But so this is some 60 frames. Woo! Give me that 60 frames into that combat.
Dude, Jesus.
That would be good.
I could literally just like sitting here watching this. There's like
It's amazing.
a handful of games, just kind of like Persona for you, that I could just go back, and if I only had those games to play, I'd be happy for the rest of my life. Just sit there and replay those games. Like this is one of those like top 5 games for me, like of all time, that
It's great.
I would just continually play.
Well, Spencer, I'll say this. I highly recommend, just to compare and contrast, because as you know, this kind of changes the story of it. Why don't you play Final Fantasy VII? Like the regular one.
So
it's on
I
Game
did.
Pass. You just can't do the graphics.
Well, no, the graphics didn't bother me. I kept trying to do the damn first boss, and I just kept dying. I just got irritated and stopped.
So this is my theory on the graphics thing, because now that I'm playing the Series X and it's just got everything,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how old the game is. To me, it's just about gameplay and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I think every generation is amazing, except, and this is one of my favorite consoles too, except for N64
Oh
and
yeah,
PS1. Those games, like I worship Mario 64.
yeah.
My God, is it
I
such a
will
bitch
say
to play that game now?
there's some PS1 games that are just like the nostalgia just
Yeah,
holds me to the point where the graphics just doesn't bother me. But I will
that yeah.
say all N64 games look like
It's
shit.
the it's not even just the graphics. It's just the worst because it's the first time doing 3D.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna fault them, but it's the worst. It's the generation that aged the poorest.
yeah,
Like you can
for
go
sure.
back and play NES and SNES games and they
And
play
those
like
still
a
look great.
dream.
Yeah,
But even play like a dream. Like
yeah,
god damn, the camera in 64. That's the first level.
yeah.
How many times it took me, and I used to do it like a snap on it. It took me to just grab the fucking red coin on the hill because I couldn't fucking see where I was sliding. I was losing my mind. I almost shut it off. It's ridiculous. But I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's
Yeah.
great. To
It's
go
an amazing
circle
game.
back around.
That's what. If for some reason they decide to do other remakes of other Final Fantasy games, I really wish they would do 8, just because that holds a near and dear place in my heart. Because that was one of the few Final Fantasy games that I completed as a kid. I remember swapping out the disc in the
Just don't do 6.
console. So
Don't do 6.
Yeah.
We don't. It's still sprite based. 6 still looks beautiful.
yep.
We're
But
good.
8 looks like shit now. Like so
Yeah.
I bought the whole re-release and I'm just like, I don't know if I do
Damn.
this.
Well, that was a little part of our favorite games of 2020. I would imagine our next gaming Treehouse Radio episode is just going to be talking about the next gen consoles and
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
'Cause
I would guess.
we haven't officially talked about it on a podcast yet.
Yeah, we haven't
since I
yet.
came
So, got anything else you want to talk about, Spencer? Or are
No.
you good?
back.
All right.
What? Real quick, just off
What's up?
topic. Well, it's not off topic. One game that you're excited about this year.
One game I'm excited about in 2021.
Yep.
I mean, if you could tell from my reaction, I mean, I could obviously Halo Infinite, all those, fucking Harry Potter,
Oh,
Hogwarts Legacy, man. If you want to see my reaction, but small game because everyone knows about the big games. Small game, I want to give a shout out to. It's coming out this month on Game Pass, coming to Switch and everything. Cyber Shadow. It is being, I think it's January 26th, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the 20s somewhere, but Yacht Club's publishing it. You know, Shovel Knight people. It's like a Ninja Gaiden-esque, fast-paced 2D platformer. It looks amazing, so that's my shout out. Besides the obvious usual ones of Halo Infinite, God of War, Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, all that crap. You know,
Yeah, just off the top of my head, just the one game that I know will probably hit this year. Besides Halo Infinite,
we hope.
I kind of got like a nervous excitement for that one.
Me too.
But Horizon Zero Dawn, or not, Horizon Forbidden West. Yes. I'm more excited for that one than any game that I know of that's
Let's
actually
go.
releasing this year. So, I mean, I'm sure
God of
there's
War?
something to pop out.
Huh?
Well, I don't think God of War is
Kidding.
coming this
I
year.
don't either.
Between Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, and was it Returnals coming?
Yeah,
March?
and then March.
So
That game is a big question mark.
Yeah.
$70 is a big price
Yeah.
tag. I hope Housemarque can pull it off.
So, I mean, I think Sony's got their hands full to where they can push God of War back till next year. So, we'll see on that
agree.
one. But if God of War does come, that is my number one anticipated game.
Yes.
But I'm not
So-
for sure on that one yet.
So that'll probably be another Gaming Treehouse radio episode where we just talk about all
Yeah.
the games slated to come out this year and talk about which ones are hyped for.
Exactly.
Well, everyone,
Yeah. This is
let
fun.
us know in the comments what 3 or not even 3, just let us know what games just were
Yes.
great to you in 2020
Yeah.
and
I mean, hell,
Make
give
fun
us a
of me
top
for-
10 list if you want.
yeah, make fun of me for not remembering Jesse's name.
Well, what's so funny? She
brain
popped up on
farting.
screen like 2
jeez.
minutes like after that. I was like, oh, we look like idiots. So
Well, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah.
Till next time.
keep
See ya.
gaming.